Hey, folks. It is Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. You're listening to the Daily Ledger Show, and I'm your host, Dennis Sert. Great to be here with you tonight. We got some good stories we're going to talk about. Waymo raises $16 billion to fuel global ambitions. What you need to know about the AI models rattling markets. X's Paris office raided by prosecutors. Musk summoned for interview. Homeland Security is trying to force tech companies to hand over data about Trump critics. We're going to talk about all of that today. Before we get into it, make sure to smash that follow button if you're on Instagram, subscribe if you're on YouTube. Make sure to hit the like button, leave a comment. Make sure to share. You're probably seeing this on a clip. Make sure to share this clip with everyone you know. And we're going to dive right into what we got today. So let's start with this first story. Waymo raises $16 billion to fuel global ambitions. The self-driving car company, an arm of Google's parent company, is rapidly expanding its service beyond a handful of cities. So basically, they raised $16 billion, led by the Dragoneer Investment Group, DST Global, and Sequoia Capital, in addition to Alphabet. And Waymo's position right now is that they have 2.5K robo-taxis in service in various cities across the US. They're doing, just to call balls and strikes here, they're doing better than both Zoox and Tesla as of right now. Zoox has 50 deployed autonomous vehicles with no safety driver. So that would be Amazon's Zoox. Tesla has 1.6K registered for the Cybercab program. So that includes like Model Ys and stuff that are giving autonomous car rides in Austin, Texas. However, only a few dozen as of right now are actually being deployed. So that's what Tesla's position is at right now. As we know, Waymo is using LiDAR as opposed to Tesla, which is using just pure camera technology. So that's kind of what's going on. This is, of course, a great leap forward for Waymo, having raised that $16 billion. They did quite well last year. It says they more than tripled its volume of rides last year to 15 million. And they expanded to many cities, including, in addition to San Francisco, Atlanta, Los Angeles, Miami, and Austin, Texas. So I like to call balls and strikes on this show. So I have to tip the cap to Waymo. Personally, I believe that Tesla is going to win out in this in the long run, especially when the Cybercab factory gets built out in Texas in June. But as it stands right now, Waymo is ahead. So there you go. What you need to know about the AI models rattling markets. Rapidly expanding AI capabilities helped erase $300 billion in market value on Tuesday. So here's the thing. I tried out Codex today. Now, I've been using Codex, basically OpenAI's sort of like hardcore coding agent that can do like PR to GitHub. So I've been actually kind of using that. Originally, I'd been using like ChatGPT Pro and like manually pasting files and stuff, and I liked the amount of thinking it would do. It was actually pretty good. Then I tried out Codex starting about a month and a half ago. It was slightly less smart than the Pro, just to be frank. I think it spent less time thinking about it too, so that probably contributed to that. And so basically what I was accessing it through sort of OpenAI's platform online, right? Which is an important distinction because now, just as of yesterday, OpenAI has kind of released their macOS Codex app, which is obviously competing with Anthropic Claude's Claude Cowork, right? Which is essentially just a UI version of Claude Code, right? Which has been making all the buzz in the past couple months or so, which of course, um, yeah. So I was sort of doing some A/B testing today. I was doing a little bit of, I have both Mac OS apps on my sort of work computer, both Codex as well as Cowork, and I was kind of throwing like just day to day software engineering tasks at it, and I found that, just to be frank, it doesn't like, it doesn't exactly give me great joy to say this. I had sort of been on team OpenAI all along just because I thought it coded the best. Today, I realized that Cowork codes better than OpenAI, and that's just the reality based on the A/B testing I was doing today, as well as sort of with all the work that I put in with both Cowork as well as just OpenAI products in the past. Um, yeah, so for what it's worth, that's my official opinion on OpenAI Codex. Um, I think I mentioned this yesterday, but I have canceled my OpenAI Pro plan, and I am now instead using Anthropic Claude's Max plan just because of the performance. So that's the way it goes. However, I'll say that, I don't know. I mean, perhaps things will change, perhaps not. There's a lot of, so if this happened about a year ago, I'd be pretty confident that maybe OpenAI could kind of regain a foothold again. Um, but right now, I'm sort of sensing a shift where it's like a lot of investment, a lot of like, there's a lot of momentum. And when I say investment, I mean like investment into like reputation, if you will. Like what I'm trying to say is like on the one old New York Times, all the legacy media, even on X, it's like for the past few months, everyone's been like glazing Anthropic, right? And Claude Code. And it's like, um, it's kind of hard to undo that because up to now it's been like, okay, Grok's ahead, okay, ChatGPT's ahead, okay, Gemini's ahead, okay, like, Claude's ahead, whatever. But it's like after just like the media blitz that we saw in the past few months over like Claude Code and then, now Cowork, Anthropic, oh my God, like they might IPO before OpenAI. Oh no, OpenAI just moved up their IPO date to beat Anthropic, all that. It's like the media has been very friendly towards Anthropic, more so than OpenAI in the past few months. I think that much is clear. I don't know how much of it is AstroTurf. I kind of suspect a little bit of it is. My hunch, just based on what I've been seeing on X and stuff. Um, but I don't know. I mean, I do know, but that's just a figure of speech. I'm just saying that I guess to just land the plane, a lot of a lot of reputational hype has gone on for Anthropic. It's hard to take that back. All right. So that's what I'm going to say on that. Um, X's Paris office raided by prosecutors. Musk summoned for interview. Authorities are investigating the social media platform's role in deep fake images and alleged bias in its content algorithm. Yeah, I mean, like let me just say about the. I don't want to comment too much about the deep fake image stuff. It's kind of no go content for this show. But for the it's like okay. I mean, let's face it, Elon isn't really worried about X right now. He's out there building rockets. He's out there like merging XAI and SpaceX. Like, he's not like, yes, XAI owns Grok, and X, but it's like he's not in the weeds on the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? Like he's kind of has his hands tied with like investors and stuff, and he's probably been doing that for a while now. The alleged bias stuff is coming from people digging through the open source. It's like he made it open source, dude. Like Elon Musk is not going in the algorithm himself and being like, okay, like changing this. Like I mean, you can just go on the open source sort of Git um like a name for it, but I guess like the Git page that the algorithm is posted on, and you can just like dig through it yourself. You know what I mean? So anyway, so some people are like nitpicking that and being like, oh, this is proof that there's bias. No. Anyways, okay. Yeah, what I really wanted to say about this specifically is that yes, the French authorities ended up sort of raiding the X offices in Paris, and I guess they summoned Musk to come to, I guess, quote, voluntary interviews in April. And, this is really like, how they say like history rhymes? It's not like history. It's just like history from 2 years ago. Of course, we recall the story where Pavel Durov, of the CEO of Telegram, in a very similar way, ended up being detained at one of the French airports after sort of pulling up with his like girlfriend, uh who's right here, by the way, Julie Vavilova. And so I guess they were sort of touring like Eastern Europe and whatnot, and then so they pull up to Paris, and then he just immediately gets arrested by the French authorities, and then they don't let him out until he promises to change the Telegram terms of service, which he did like a day later. Um, so that was kind of wild. I mean, France really knows how to like twist these social media platforms as arms. Mm. Um, and the interesting thing about that sort of detainment of Pavel Durov was that um, uh, apparently the way that they found him was that they were tracking Julie Vavilova's like posts on like I guess Instagram, and because she was just like posting all the way through wherever they were, and apparently they were able to just like track where Pavel Durov was, and that's how they were able to get him. Apparently, this French privacy data researcher Baptiste Robert kind of comments on this. And so he goes, it's complicated to say if her posts played a direct role in his arrest, but if you were following her on social media, you could easily track Durov's movements. Man, type F in the chat. That is so unfortunate. Get arrested for Julie Vavilova though by the French authorities. I mean, would you be willing to change your social media platforms as terms of service for Julie Vavilova? I think I'd fold. Just being honest. Homeland Security is trying to force tech companies to hand over data about Trump critics. Now, I don't like this because this is setting a precedent for in 2028 when likely the Democrats are going to regain power, and it's likely going to be every branch of government. Um, they're going to do this on the other side, and the problem is Democrats know how to sort of work as a team really well. They're very unified. Just I'm talking about in like this. I'm not talking about just like random people. And it's like, yeah, they know how to like get shit done. Um and we saw that in like 2021 through 2022, I guess, with like the COVID policies and all that. I don't really want to rehash that tonight, but um if you've been following the show, I've been definitely talking about like sort of the vaccine passports and whatnot. It's really a gene therapy, but whatever, experimental gene therapy at that. But anyways, um, but yeah, it's like they know how to do that sort of thing, and uh, yeah, congressional Republicans don't. So it's like It's gonna be rough in 2028. I'll tell you that right now. So I think that's all I want to say on that. I think we're gonna end the show here. Hope you guys have a great night. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, or follow if you're on Instagram or X. And we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Peace.